Hey everyone, Sanjay here from Tech Respect to finally review the Nexus 4. Now this has been a long time in the making and I've had a lot of time with this phone. So you're going to be sure to have a well-rounded review and something that will probably help you maybe make a purchase, maybe not. So let's just get right down to it. So the Nexus 4 was one really tough phone to get, but I finally managed to get a hold of one a whole 3 months after I started trying, and I started trying when they first launched it. So by the time I got it, I had a very, very high expectations for this phone, and I can safely say that this phone really did manage to stand up to them, even though there were a few issues with the phone, but that just adds to its character. And you'll probably see what I mean in a bit. But yeah, so let's take a look around the device. We have a 4.7-inch 1280 by 768 pixel IPS display in the front here, and the 1.3 megapixel camera, proximity and light sensors over here, and a multicolored LED light below the screen. On the right side we only have the power button, and on the left side we only have the volume rocker. Down at the bottom we have the micro USB port and two screws, which you can use to take the back cover off if you really wanted to. The back sports the 8 megapixel camera with an LED flash and this really awesome and unique crystal reflective glass finish. Inside we have a 1.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro chipset, quite a mouthful, with 2 GB of RAM and the Adreno 320 GPU. So this is definitely one of the best processors you can get in the market today. So it will be able to run almost any app without any problems and no lagging. Everything will be very smooth if you have this processor. So the display of the Nexus 4 is simply beautiful. Now it's not the best that I've seen, but it really is able to give a really good contrast to what you're watching and provide a very good amount of brightness for what you're looking at. The best display I've seen is still from HTC for the HTC One X, and I'm sure the HTC One, which will be coming out soon, has an even better display. But the Nexus 4 really has a great display that will not, that really won't disappoint anyone. So you can watch movies on it, take pictures clearly, and play games. It just looks vibrant and beautiful, and it's in 720p, which again isn't the highest resolution anymore, because we have 1080p displays out there on cell phones, but it's a very, very good display. Let's just leave it there. So the Nexus 4 comes with the new Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, which is not really new anymore since it's been so long. And this has quite a few visual improvements over the previous versions, and finally integrates the quick settings into the notification panel. To access this, you can either open the notification panel and press this button over here, or you can pull down the notification bar with 2 fingers. Here you can quickly access Wi-Fi, Bluetooth settings, or just all settings in general. There is also a new Daydream feature with Android 4.2, which is a lot like a screensaver and activates either when you charge your phone or you dock it. You can choose which one, when it comes on. You have a clock, or maybe a newsfeed, or weather information move around in your screen when Daydream mode is on. So it's really quite unique and quite interesting to have, especially a newsfeed, which I tend to bend towards when I do use Daydream. So other than these things, Android 4.2 was more of an enhancement of Android 4.1 rather than changing things drastically. So the camera of the Nexus 4 is a huge improvement over the Galaxy Nexus. Pictures taken outdoors are crisp and clear, provided the camera does manage to focus properly. And indoor or in low light conditions, the pictures can be quite impressive as well. Just don't expect the flash to illuminate total darkness well enough to get a good picture. But other than that, you can take very impressive low light pictures, and that's more than what I can say for most phones. So, like I said before, we have quite a few problems with the Nexus 4, and something that affects me a lot is the touch sensitivity issues that it is known to have. The screen sometimes won't register light touches, which will lead to a few typos when you're texting or just taking a few quick notes. But this is not a huge issue, and it might not affect everyone depending on how hard you press down on the screen or something like that. I tend to skid along the screen really quickly, so I did miss quite a few key presses, so that did tend to get a little annoying. Another issue that comes to mind is how fragile it is. Having a glass body is stylish and everything, but it can break if you don't take the proper measures to protect your phone, despite the glass being Gorilla Glass 2. I have found that the bottom edge, I have also found that the bottom edge of the phone flexes in a little bit with very little pressure, like putting my phone into the pocket and I'm just pushing in on the bottom edge. It almost feels like I'm pressing a button when I try to push the phone back into my pocket. So I'm not sure if this is a widespread kind of occurrence, or if this is just an isolated incident. But again, the durability of the phone comes into question. So a deal breaker for many is the lack of expandable storage. You're either stuck with 8 or 16 gigabytes. With the increasing need for more space for music and movies, this is really very disappointing. Google didn't even offer expanded Google Drive cloud storage, which with the purchase of this phone, like HTC did with the One X or Samsung did with the Galaxy S3. But you do get 5 gigabytes of Google Drive space regardless, so that's a plus. So on to the less significant problems, and one is the very poor vibration I get from the phone. In my jeans pocket, I would barely feel any notification, and when I am actively doing something like walking, I don't feel it at all. This is, again, a very minor gripe I have with the phone, and the great notification LD more than makes up for it. So another one is I have inconsistent GPS performance. Now I live in Canada, so results may vary depending on where you are, but there have been times where I have not been able to locate myself on Google Maps, even with mobile signals. So this has been quite a big problem for me. So sometimes I couldn't use the GPS when I really needed it. So it might have been just me, or it might have been the weather. Maybe it was snowing. I can't really remember. It's been a while now. But this really does have me itching to root and load a new custom firmware on the phone so that maybe I can tweak it out, or something that the developers have already fixed. So I'm really excited to get done with this review, so that I can actually root my phone and not have that affect my review. So though the Nexus 4 has had its fair share of issues, the good really outweighs the bad. It will get new firmware updates as soon as it's available from Google. It is a great looking phone. It is very inexpensive without sacrificing the premium feel of the phone. And most of all, its aforementioned issues can be fixed with a little bit of tweaking. And like I said before, I'm really excited to get into that. And with phones like the HTC One, the Galaxy S4, and the Sony Xperia Z just around the corner or having just been released, this phone may be a little outshadowed, but at its price, $400 or $350 or a little more, a little less, it's probably the most underpriced piece of hardware you can buy. And there's a reason this phone was almost impossible to get in its beginning months. So I'm really happy I was able to, and I've had a great month with it. And if you're looking to get a phone, this definitely is something that you should be looking at as one of your options. It's inexpensive. You can use the extra money you save on, I don't know, like a dock for your phone, because it has working wireless charging that uses Qi technology. And it's It's a really good phone for its price, and that's not should stop saying for its price, because it's just a really good phone in general. Um, I am a little iffy about LG's build quality, but again, I really can't complain at the price. So that has been my review of the Nexus 4. It's a great piece of hardware, great software, great firmware. If you guys are in the market for a phone, this is something you should be looking at, like I said before. And that is really it for my review of the Nexus 4. Thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you guys later.